Hi guys, so today we are going to be making this beautiful knit hat. It has the cable details on the front. We added a little bit of accessories, some pearls, a little fluff, I can't say the word, a little fluff ball. So if you are interested to see how I made this beautiful beginner friendly knit hat, stay tuned. Things you will need. For starters, you will need about 150 to 175 yards of yarn. This one is a medium size 4-weight yarn. So any size 4-weight yarn will do for this project. I've used my Lion brand. Sorry, the label is really beat up. I use my Lion brand Heartland yarn, my go-to, my favorite. And this is actually this started off as a full skein, and this is actually the skein after I completed the hat. So you only need about 150 to 175 yards, depending on how big you want your hat. Size 5 circular needle, US size 6 circular needles, your US size 6 double pointed needle, measuring tape, stitch markers 2 for when you switch over your needles, your darning scissors, your darning needle, your cable needle, a puff ball for the top of your hat if you do choose to use it. I'll put a link to where I got this one from. A spool of thread that matches the color of your yarn. A button for fastening your puff. And some pearls if you choose to add them. I got these from the dollar store, but I will find a link to some that are very similar and put it in the description below. While I clean up my space, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It's a free way to support my channel. Thank you again so much. You're going to need to take your smallest size needles, which for me is the size 5. And you want to cast on 96 stitches. If you don't know how to cast on, I can find some YouTube videos that can help you, or even link my own beginner knitting video that I did some years ago. I'm using the long tail cast on method. This is probably way too much yarn, but I'd rather have too much than not enough, because then I'll have to take the whole thing out and start over. And having too much, I can always cut it, tie it up, and use it. So I'm doing the long tail cast on, and I'm gonna cast on 96 stitches. How I do this cast on is I take my needle, place it under the yarn, push up, bring it around underneath my thumb, and then underneath the yarn on my index finger. And I just do that repeatedly until I have 96 stitches. So you guys go ahead and do whatever cast on method you use, and come back to me once you have your 96 stitches on your needle. I've got my 96 stitches casted on my needles, and I'm going to place my stitch marker, and we're gonna get started on this hat. What I'm doing now, I'm just making sure that all of my stitches are straight, so it's not twisted when I'm knitting. The last thing you want is twisted stitches when you're knitting in the round. Place your stitch marker. Okay, so the brim is worked knit 2, purl 2 all the way around. So we're going to knit 2 and purl 2 for a total of 4 inches. I'm gonna knit 2, purl 2 all the way around, and I'll come back so we can just knit a few rows of the 4 inches together. Now I'm just finishing up the last 2 stitches on the first row. And the last 2 stitches should be purl stitches if you did cast on 96. We're going to do knit 2, purl 2 for a total of 4 inches. Our 4 inches of ribs are knitted up, and we are going to start on the cable pattern. Okay, so you are going to get the needle size up that you chose, and so that you don't lose your stitch marker, because you're not going to be working with this needle anymore, just go ahead and place a point protector if you have one. If you don't have one, you can just take your stitch marker off, put it away somewhere safe, and then once you reach the end of your row, just go ahead and put your stitch marker back on and do it that way. The size that I'm moving up to is the size 6 needle. And we're gonna go ahead and repeat the same pattern, knit 2, purl 2, and we're going to do that for 6 rows. And I just switched my needles like this. I know some people transfer their stitches onto their new needles. I don't. I just go ahead and knit onto my new set. So I have all of my stitches transfer onto my new pair of needles. Now we get started on the body. Again, we're gonna do we're gonna knit up the knit 2, purl 2 for 5 more rows. And once we get to that 5th, well, it's really that 6th row, we're gonna do that for 6 rows, but since we already did 1, it's 5. Once we get to the end of doing our 6 rows on the new set or the bigger set of needles, we're gonna go ahead and start making the cables. So go ahead and knit up your 5 more rows and meet me back here once you're done. I am finishing up my row 6, and we are about to start row 7, which is our cable row. So I'm gonna go ahead and knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and you can, if you have a cable needle, you can go ahead and grab that, or if you're going to use a double pointed needle, whichever needle that you choose to use, just go ahead and grab it. And this is the 10th stitch. You're gonna go ahead and slide the 2 knit stitches off onto your cable needle, and those are the 10th and 11th stitches. And then we're gonna knit the next 2. So yes, these are purl, but we're gonna go ahead and knit these 2. So you're gonna make sure you're holding your 2 knit stitches to the front of your work, knit the next 2 stitches from your working needle, and then purl the next 2. Even though they are knit stitches, you're gonna purl the next 2 off of your working needle, and then we're back at a knit, which will be the 2 stitches that are on our cable hook. So you go ahead, slide those back onto your working needle, and then go ahead and knit those 2. And what this does is it just creates a seamless pattern, so that way everything is still flowing. It's still a knit 2, purl 2, and a knit 2. So we got that one out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and purl the next 2, and then we're gonna work that cable again. Slide the next 2 stitches off of your working needle onto your cable needle, and then knit the next 2, and then purl the next 2, and then go ahead and slide those 2 stitches back onto your working needle and knit them. They're a little tight, but okay. And then you're going to go ahead and do the knit 2, purl 2 all the way around, and that will complete your row. So this is row 7. And then you're going to repeat rows 1 through 7 until your work measures 9 inches. Okay, and that's 9 inches from the bottom of the brim to the end of your work at that point. So just go ahead and complete row 7. Okay, so now your work should look like this. You should start to see your cables coming in, going right along this way. Black is always hard to see, but there. If you're using a lighter color, if you are using a lighter color, you'll see your cables coming in a lot easier than this one. So you go ahead and you repeat rows 1 through 7 again until your work measures 9 inches. And once your work measures 9 inches, we're going to meet back up here and start our decreases. Right, so once your hat is 9 inches long, we're going to start with our first decrease row. So what we're going to do is go ahead and follow the knit 2, purl 2 pattern and do that for 21 stitches. So I've already started. I have my 2 here, my knit 2. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do the purl 2. And because this is a cable row, I'm still gonna cable my stitches. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so after finishing my cable, we just made it to 22. So stitch 23 and 24 are going to be a knit 2 together, or purl 2 together in this case. And then we're gonna go ahead and knit 24 again. Knit purl 24 again, excuse me. 21, 22, and then we're gonna go ahead and purl 2 together. And we're going to repeat that until we meet back up with at our stitch marker. So go ahead and knit and purl 22 stitches and stitch 23 and 24. They should be purls, and then you're going to go ahead and purl those two together, and we'll meet back here at the end of our row. For this row, we're going to do a knit 2, purl 2 for 22 stitches, and then a purl 1, and then a knit 2, purl 2 for 22 stitches, and then a purl 1. Just repeat that sequence until the row is done. For this next row, we're going to do knit 21 and then knit 2 together. So we're not following the knit purl pattern anymore, it's just knit. So I already knit 1, 2, 3, 20, 21, and then we're gonna do knit 22 and 23 together. And we're gonna do that all the way around. So we're going to knit 21 and then knit 22 and 23 together. So knit 21, knit 2 together. 19, 20, 21. Knit 2 together. 21. And knit 2 together. For this next row, we will be doing knit all the way around. So no decreases, just a knit row. So go ahead and finish your knit row, and let's meet back up here once you're done. This row will be a knit 9 and knit 2 together. So I already knit 2, and I do that so my stitch marker doesn't slide off, by the way. But knit 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to go ahead and knit 2 together. And then 1, 2, 9, knit 2 together, and just continue all the way until you reach your stitch marker, and then we will meet back up at the next row. If you want to go ahead with the next row, it's just a knit all the way around, but I'm still going to meet back up with you. Let's do our knit 9, knit 2 together. Okay, so for this next row, this is going to be a knit all the way around. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And if your work is getting too tight for your circular needles, you can just go ahead and switch to your double pointed needles. Once we are done with that, we will meet back up here at the end. I'm at the end of my knit row. So for this next row, it's pretty easy. We're just gonna knit 2 together all the way around. For me, if you knit continental style, I don't know if you would agree with me, but when I do a knit two together, it's always hard for me to do that knitting continental style. I always have to do it. I don't know what the other style is called. I always have to do it like the other way, like this way. It's always easier to knit two together for me with my right hand holding the yarn. Go ahead and work your knit two all the way around. And sorry, by the way, if you can hear that, you know that is my son playing Fortnite. But yeah, go ahead and knit two all the way around, and we will meet back here for the next row. The next row is just a knit all the way around, knit each stitch, but we will come back at the end of this one and do that, or start that row together. Okay, so my stitches are getting a little tight on my circular needle, so I'm gonna remove my stitch marker and put I don't know what kind of stitch marker this is, the stitch marker with the clasp, because I'm now going to transfer to my double pointed needles. This next row is knit all the way around, so at this point I'm going to just start transferring everything over. Okay, I have all of my stitches transferred over to my double pointed needles, and we are going to work a knit two all the way around. So we can see our project coming together very nice right now. How cute is that, right? Next row will be a knit one all the way around. This next row will be a knit two together. So at this point, I have my tapestry needles and my tapestry scissors. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take them out, because we're going to just close this little hole here at the top. So cut a piece of yarn long enough to be woven in. I think I cut about 12 inches. And you can just go ahead and slide your stitches onto your needle like so, and you will see it start to close up. And once you have all your stitches on your piece of yarn, you can go ahead and tuck that needle on the inside. Am I showing you? There we go. And just pull that yarn through there like that. Turn your hat inside out and then just close it up. Now we're going to go ahead and weave this loose end in until it's secure. Once you are confident in the security of that yarn you wove in, go ahead and snip it. Turn your work right side out. And this is what your finished project should look like so far. So far. It's time to add on your pearls and your puff. So just a bit of advice when working with the Heartland yarn. If you want to add on some accessories like I'm doing, like the pearls and the puff, you want to go ahead and wash and dry. You can wash and dry this particular yarn. You want to go ahead, wash it and dry it, because that helps to loosen up the stitch. It helps to give the yarn, I'm sorry, the hat, that softness and that flexibility that you look for when you make your hat. So we're gonna go ahead and add pearls in each of these grooves between the cables. So we're gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 pearls. 5 rows of the pearls. Okay, you are going to put the pearl, position the pearl. All right, so you're gonna go ahead, we're gonna go ahead and position the pearl in the middle of that first cable. It's open, this is an open cable, but we want that pearl right in there. So let's just figure out how we're gonna get her to, you don't really have to have any sewing skills to do this. It's really just a repetitive thing. We have the first one in, but I'm gonna go ahead and secure it a few more times. Okay, so how I secure my thread on the pearl is I just take the thread, wrap it around the needle about 2 or 3 times, well actually 3 or 4 times, and pull it through. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to secure thread, because I am not a seamstress, but it's been working for all of my hats that call for accessories. Okay, so it's pretty secure. Gonna go ahead, cut that thread and add the next one. We're gonna go ahead and do this for all 10 pearls. Add your second pearl right next to this one in that second cable space. So we have this one right under there. We're gonna do the same here. So right next to it, I'm gonna go ahead. Just repeat the same method that you did for your first pearl for your second pearl. So we have all of our pearls on the front of our hat, and now it's time to add the button for our puff. This button we're gonna add on the inside of the hat. So go ahead, turn your hat inside out, find the middle, which is right here, you can see, and go ahead and put your button there. And start to secure your button however you feel comfortable doing so. We have our button secure in here. This is how it looks from the outside, so you really can't tell that there's anything going on in there. So that's why I love this hat, because it's really versatile, right? You can go ahead and get your puff on there. I usually put the puff on with a crochet hook. You can use whatever tools you might have that will help you get your loop through the hat. Go ahead and pull it through, and then just wrap it around the button right there. And there you have your beautiful, beautiful hat, and it's ready to be gifted. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed making this tutorial. I don't really do knit tutorials because I noticed that you guys more so like the crochet, but this hat was just too cute and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to share it with you all. So please don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up as well as subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video.